Good morning, my name is Adrian Woodhouse. You're standing with me in the Stables Galleries at Renishaw Hall. I'm Renishaw Hall's new historian, and I've curated this show which is called Royalty and Renishaw, which is about the 440 years of the Sitwell's history with the royal family. It begins in 1571, when Queen Elizabeth I, no less, becomes Lord of the Manor of Eckington. Everyone had quite forgotten this particular royal connection, and the monarchs of England, 13 of them in total, down to 1840, were all Lords of the Manor of Eckington. So that's quite an important connection, and the Sitwells, who came up here to the hill where they built Renishaw Hall in 1625, were first of all their tenants, and then gradually managed to get more and more of the manorial rights from the Crown until finally they were able to buy out the Crown in 1840. And that's what you can see on the board over there, the list of the monarchs of England and who the people were. There's some quite interesting people who were the Lords of the Manor at the time and who the Sitwells were associated with. You'll have to come to the show, of course, to find out that sort of detail. You come inside, and then the first case is here, case one in the red room. We have 2.5 rooms here on the ground floor and another room upstairs. Of course, it's red, white and blue downstairs. And in case one, this is all about the Sitwells and the Stuarts and the early Hanoverians. This wonderful gilt bust there of James II, which was acquired by Sir Osbert Sitwell. It was given to him by the artist Sickert, Walter Sickert, who he said that Osbert, he thought, looked a bit like that thing. On the background there, you've got the coat of arms granted to the Sitwells in the 17th century. There's pictures in here of Bonnie Prince Charlie, things about Alexandra Sitwell, the present owner of Renishaw's 16 times great-grandfather, I think it was, who's there, the first Lord Great Chamberlain to Henry VIII, and other things here connected with the Stuart and early Hanoverian period of the Sitwells association with the royal family. Before I go on, can I get a plug-in for the booklet that goes with the show, the same name, Royalty and Renishaw, written by me. It's 29,000 words. It's a limited edition of 2012 copies only and sells for just £4.99. There are 20 illustrations in it and a lovely full-colour cover, front and back. And it's available here at Renishaw throughout the season. As I say, it's a limited edition, so when it's gone, it's gone. If you don't get it in time, it'll be gone forever. It's our only Jubilee souvenir this year. Here we have case 2, which is all about the connection with the late Georgians and the Sitwells. In the late Georgians, we move into a completely different level of relationship. Sitwell, who became the first baronet in 1808, was a great mate of George, Prince of Wales, and others of the sons of George III, because he was a racehorse owner, had a great stables and built these stables that we're actually standing in at the moment. And he entertained the Prince of Wales and his younger brother, the Duke of Clarence, later William IV, to a great visit here at Renishaw in 1806 after Doncaster races, where they'd been to watch the St. Leger. And Sitwell actually held a ball in honour of the royal princes, and we think built a great section of Renishaw Hall specially for the occasion. In return, the prince was so delighted that he gave us this fabulous bust here of his daughter, Princess Charlotte of Wales. She was the one who was heir in line to the throne, sadly died before her father, so of course she never came to the throne. We never had a Charlottean era, and we had a Victorian era instead, who was George IV and William IV's niece. We're also very proud here of this tiny little thing there, which is a glorious Battersea enamel snuff box, very rare, commemorating the recovery of George III from his first madness. That's the madness, which of course is in the famous movie, and it's a rather beautiful thing which we're very, very proud of. Also very proud, moving along the case, behind Princess Charlotte there is the patent of the baronetcy, which was granted by George III in 1808 to Sitwell, so he became Sir Sitwell, and so did his descendants. And moving on, we have a very rare Tunbridge ware table cabinet, which has got a very special view of Brighton Pavilion, as it only existed in 10 years, 1805 to 1815. And we have it because Anne Sitwell, one of the children of Sitwell, she married somebody who was a great courtier called Sir Frederick Stovin, and they went to live in Brighton, so we presume she bought that lovely box. We just found it. It was lying around. Nobody knew what it was. Moving further on, we've got things associated with the coronation of George, Prince of Wales, when he became George IV in 1821, one of the most spectacular and farcical coronations in British history. And also very proud, right at the end, we're very proud to have a fabulous bust of George III, which was done for George III's Golden Jubilee in the year 1809-10. It was produced in a limited edition, and Renishaw happened to get one of them. Here we have case 3, which is the last case in our Victorian and Georgian room. It's full of things associated with the Victorian period. For example, this wonderful red cloak, which was worn by Sir Reresby Sitwell, Alexandra's great-great-grandfather, when he was a lifeguard. And behind we have a picture of him posing outside Windsor Castle with the wonderful red cloak beside him. This is a rather wonderful thing. It was acquired by Osbert Sitwell from the estate of Princess Louise, one of Queen Victoria's daughters. Princess Louise was herself a great sculptor, and it was actually sculpted by somebody with whom she may have had an affair with, Edgar Burham. And it's actually of Queen Victoria's famous gilly, John Brown, again familiar to everybody probably from the famous movie Mrs. Brown. There we have fabulous prints of Queen Victoria and the Prince Consort Albert that were given to Alex's great-great-granny on her mother's side, Viscountess Formes, who was a woman of the bedchamber to Queen Victoria for nearly 40 years. And we have other things also in the case, Queen Victoria's slippers, which again came to Lady Forbes, and a lovely couple of things associated with Balmoral, because the Sitwell family rented Balmoral as their summer estate in the 1840s before Victoria and Albert. We have a view up there of Balmoral before it was Victorianised, and also down there a wonderful print that was actually made by Georgiana Sitwell, the sister of Sir Reresby Sitwell, who I was talking about there, of the Sitwell sitting in the family pew in Crathy Church, which is, of course, the Balmoral Church. And there's the Sitwells sitting in the Balmoral Castle pew. Rather wonderful, I think. And here we have the centrepiece of this entire first room, the Red Room. It's a cake, an exact life-size replica in cake of the coronation crown. That's the St Edward's crown, which is the Queen wore in 1953, only for half an hour. It's placed on the monarch's head in Westminster Abbey. They wear it for half an hour for the rest of the service, and then by the time they go out to process through the streets, they've changed to a different crown. So that is the very rare and special coronation crown in cake, made here locally by Kay Ward, whose husband Chris is builder for the Renishaw estate. Kay is our brilliant, as it were, cake maker to Renishaw Hall, as it were, and to lots of other people as well. And I asked her if she could do it. She said yes, and so she produced this wonderful thing. Everything about it is edible, barring the round ball on top, which I'm afraid has to be a ping pong ball coated with icing sugar. But the centre is actually fruit cake, and when the show is over, so the show is running until the 30th September, as soon as the show is over, 1st of October, we shall be eating it. I'm now walking into the white lobby, which connects the red room and the blue room. And here we just have, it's a very small lobby, and we have photographs here of the family and their interesting story about what they were doing in the late 19th century. And then we come through into the blue room, which is essentially the 20th century room of all the 20th century exhibits. There's boards all the way around, and we have a central display case with mostly photographs and paper materials, invitations from the royal family, Christmas cards from the royal family, letters from the royal family as well. In the central display case in the blue room, as I said, we have lots and lots of rare and precious things, ranging from mementos of different coronations from the time of Queen Victoria onwards. You go around in a sort of circular round the display case. Here on one side we have number of letters from Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, who was a great friend of Sir Osbert Sitwell. We even have an amazing letter from her to Sir Reresby Sitwell, Alexandra's father, in 2000 when she was about to be 100. And there's a lovely letter thanking him for a lunch that she came to down in London. We have photographs, we have invitations, and we have Christmas cards. Again, we have a quantity of Christmas cards. You can probably see one there of the Queen Mother herself. Round the room there are also lots and lots of boards explaining the other parts of the connections of the family, which became very close and very intimate. The reason why we opened this show on the 12th of May this year is because that is the 75th anniversary of the coronation of the present Queen's father, King George VI. Sitting in the royal box was Sir Osbert Sitwell, 3 rows behind Queen Mary, the King's mother, and all the other royal guests. Pretty good. It doesn't get much better than that he was sat, one of the 3 only commoners in the royal box in Westminster Abbey for the coronation, 12th of May 1937, 75 years ago from when this exhibition opened here. This is the last room in the show, so you move upstairs to this. This has got the costumes, as I call it, court and social. We have an amazing procession there of peers' robes, followed by a page of honour, followed by the High Sheriff's uniform that was adapted from the court dress made for Sir Osbert Sitwell. When it was the High Sheriff's uniform, it was worn by Alexandra's father, Sir Reresby, in 1983. We have lots of other fabulous things from other royal occasions. We have here also the Sitwell coachman's uniform, which is going to be worn for our Jubilee weekend. We have our great carriage procession on the 5th of June. I can't urge you enough. I hope this has given you a taste for what to come and see, what's in the show. Do come. There's masses more to see than what's been in this very, very short film. It's open 5 days a week from now until the end of the Renishaw Hall opening season, which is September the 30th. And it's a special exhibition, but the admission price is just £1. So we look forward to seeing you here, and thanks for your time and thanks for watching. Bye.